gentlemen, Street Talk and Other Stuff, Mike Mad Dog Magnati, thanks for being back again on this Monday morning. Nice to have you. And look, I'm not even going to mention those guys who were playing a game they said was football yesterday. We're not even going to talk about them. Okay, not even going to go there. But I was saying to Caitlin, the producer, the NFL, I really think the players are killing the golden goose. Okay, I think they're really starting to turn the fans off. I don't know if it'll ever come down to where it's just people always watch football is what I'm saying. But you got to remember, the fans are where your money comes from. And when you irritate them the way our favorite Seahawks did yesterday, that's just not going to help. Hey, let's talk about some other stuff. The Christmas season is coming. Christmas is a couple weeks away. It's going to be great. But recently, my wife's brother was in town, and his wife, she needed a new outfit for Christmas. So she said, you got any good stores here in Wenatchee? She can go shopping. And I said, yeah, Collins Fashion. It's a great store right downtown. They got some nice stuff. So she went down and she looked around and she said to the clerk, she said, hey, can I try on that dress in the window? And the clerk said, no, you'll have to use the dressing room like everybody else. I'm sorry, it's a stupid joke, but I make up these jokes for myself, okay? If you don't like them, that's fine. I'm amused. But here, now this one's true. This is a true story. When my wife and I were first married, we were really broke. Didn't have much money, but I still wanted to get her something as nice as I could for Christmas. So I went, we were in Seattle, so I went by the Nordstrom's, cosmetic perfume counter, and I asked the clerk, I said, I'd like to get my wife some nice perfume for Christmas. So she brought me out a bottle that was $70 an ounce. I said, no, it's too expensive, and then she brought out another bottle that was $40 an ounce. I said, still, I'm sorry, it's too expensive. I said, you're going to have to show me something cheap. So she held up a mirror. And in my counseling business, right after Thanksgiving, I had a couple come in, a couple of clients, and the husband was really mad at the wife, and they're just very angry. And he said he was really upset with her about how much money she spent over the Thanksgiving holiday for dinner. So I said, well, what's the problem? He says, well, it was only the two of us, so we didn't want to have a whole turkey. So my wife went out and bought this frozen turkey breast. And I looked at the wife. I said, is that what you bought? She said, yeah. And I said, well, those aren't really that expensive. And the husband said, yeah, it wasn't the turkey breast that bothered me. It was the plane ticket. I looked at the wife and I said, well, what about the plane ticket? She says, well, I bought a plane ticket to Alaska. I said, why did you do that? She says, well, when I looked at the instructions on cooking the turkey breast, it said, prepare from a frozen state. All right. No, this one is kind of true. Recently, Hillary Clinton called up Donald Trump. And she said, Mr. President, she said, I'd like to propose a suggestion to you. She said, there's a possibility. I know that you've got some Supreme Court nominations coming up, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg may not be in the best of health. And one of these days, she might end up in the hospital. And if she does, I'd like to take her place. And Trump said, oh, well, if it's okay with the hospital, it's okay with me. Okay. All right, Street Talk and Other Stuff, Mike Mad Dog Magnati. I got an interesting show for you today, so hey, stick around. We'll be right back.
Ladies of the Wenatchee Valley, do you know the secret of receiving the perfect gift for your birthday, anniversary, or Christmas? We have the answer for you at Collins Fashions. Come in and fill out a wish list. You can choose from beautifully crafted jewelry, handbags, and luggage from Brighton, stylish wallets and handbags from Lotus, cozy sweaters from Icelandic, zip fleece from Tommy Bahama, fashions from Joseph Ribkop, and Collins gift cards. Our little elves can contact your loved ones and share your wish list. Complimentary gift wrap and amazing service at Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Alone, it can be hard to reach our dreams. It can feel like you aren't welcome anywhere. When no one's there to clap, taking on the world by yourself. But when we come together, when we lend a helping hand, when we set the stage, when you support causes you care about in your community, lives are changed. You make a difference in someone's life when you give. Imagine the impact if everyone in our community gave 10%. 10% makes a difference.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, street talk and other stuff. Mike Mad Dog Magnati. As you can see, it's just me today, but you know, this is kind of an important show to me, and I'm going to tell you why. You know, what I want for people and what I want for myself is for us to have fulfilling lives, okay? As you know, I do, mental health counseling and relationship counseling. A lot of people come into my office and they say, I'm just not happy. And I said, hey, happiness is fine, okay? But happiness, or the pursuit of it anyway, is guaranteed to us by our Constitution. I'm not so big on happiness. Happiness comes and goes, okay? It's nice to have. I would rather be happy than not, certainly. But what I really want to strive for in my own life and help other people strive for is a sense of fulfillment. And this is how I kind of define that. If you have the luxury of lying on your deathbed and looking back over your life and seeing the things that really were important to you, things that maybe you attempted, maybe even failed at, or times where you did experience some sort of failure, like losing a job or trying something and not succeeding, but at least you struggled through it and you made something good come out of these experiences. That's what I'm talking about as far as fulfillment is concerned. One of the things that gets in our way of fulfillment, I see it time and time again, not just in my counseling business, but in people's lives, is debt. Debt. Money should be a tool. It shouldn't be something that we become its slave. All right, but that's what happens. Those of you who read the New Testament know that Jesus talked about money a lot. And I'm just bringing this up because not only, Christianity, but other religions, philosophies and that talk about, the danger of getting trapped up in commercialism and stuff instead of what's meaningful. Our church secretary, not secretary, but receptionist, she's got a thing on the wall that says the best things in life, what is it? How does it go? But, the best things in life aren't things, and that's true. But we get so caught up, particularly in our culture where we have so much, where commercialism and, our economic system allows us to have so much that money actually stops becoming a tool, but actually becomes something to which we become slaves. And I want to talk about things today to avoid. Now, Christmas is coming up. It's a time where a lot of spending is done, and I'm kind of for that. I kind of like the idea that people buy each other gifts. I'm not really opposed to the commercialism of Christmas, as long as you keep to the true meaning of it. But it's something we need to be careful of, okay? And after Christmas comes New Year's, and that's when we make resolutions. And I'm hoping many people will resolve to get out of debt, to get the money thing taken care of. But I want to talk about some specific areas where we need to pay attention. Now, I'll tell you honestly, I am a fan of Dave Ramsey, okay? He inspired me and my wife to get out of debt, and I'm happy to say that we are. I don't exactly follow his plan. If I called him up and told him how we did it, he would tell me where I made mistakes, and he'd be right as far as he's concerned. But I'm a fan of his, and I'm going to talk about a lot of these things, some of his philosophies today. But the first thing I want to talk about today is credit cards. And Ramsey is right on these, okay? Credit cards should be a tool, okay? They shouldn't be something to which we become enslaved. Think about it, okay? Credit card interest on the average is between 15 to 25%. Now, I think what the bank pays on interest on a savings account is less than 1% these days. It's definitely less than 3%. But do you really want to buy things that you're paying so much for afterwards? I mean, it's one thing when you buy a house or a car, I can see that. But on clothing or other items like this, 15 to 25% is a lot. Airline credit cards, 14 to 21 or 23%. interest rates. Business credit cards, 13 to 20%. And it's interesting, do you know why stores, when you go into them, like Target, Sears, that type of thing, why they always ask you if you want to get their credit card? Macy's is a big one. JCPenney's. It's because often these retailers make more money on the interest on the credit card you use to buy the stuff than the profit they're making on the merchandise you actually buy. Now think about that. Think about it, all right? Credit cards are a trap. They're easy, they're simple, but they should be a tool for you, not something to which you become enslaved. All right, so that's just one of them. Okay. Another one, reverse mortgages. Now, I am in the age category where a reverse mortgage sounds attractive, where I can just call up the bank and they'll begin to pay me. Well, maybe for some folks this is a good idea. I don't know. But for my wife and I, it is definitely not. Reverse mortgages, or home equity conversion mortgages, is what they're technically called. They're available to us homeowners that are over 62 years old and own our house outright, or have a significant amount of equity in it to make it worthwhile. But they may not be all they're cracked up to be. See, you still pay property taxes, you still pay insurance, you still pay for the cost of maintaining your home, even though you're basically saying to somebody else you're going to own it eventually. You don't make the monthly payments, of course, on a loan. The bank is making them to you. But there's other fees involved that you need to pay attention to. You still have to pay an origination fee, because this is basically a loan. You have to pay standard closing costs. There are mortgage insurance premiums if your amount you owe and the value of your house doesn't equal out to whatever it's supposed to be. There's a monthly mortgage insurance servicing fee, and there's fee for mandatory credit monitoring or credit counseling, which in some places you have to get whether or not you take out the reverse mortgage or not. And another thing, interest rates on reverse mortgages are adjustable unless you take your money in a lump sum. And I think you're supposed to take the total amount that you qualify for. It's not a matter of taking a certain amount. My house is worth $300,000, so I want to get a reverse mortgage for $50,000. I think you have to take the loan for whatever you're approved for on this type of thing. There's dozens of misleading things that the U.S. government is warned about. One of them is, they say you have a lifetime income. No, you don't necessarily have a lifetime income from a reverse mortgage. If you sell your mortgage, or your reverse mortgage stops if the value of your home is exceeded. They say you'll never lose your home. Well, that's not necessarily true. You can lose your home if you can't afford to pay the taxes, insurance, or maintain the house. They say you never own more than the value of your home, but if your loan exceeds the value of your home, you and your heirs will have to make up the difference when it's time for the loan to be repaid. These things definitely should be looked into. There's also false implications that a reverse mortgage is a government benefit rather than a loan. Some lenders are actually using government logos to convince you to buy, and this isn't the case. Now, talked about Dave Ramsey earlier. This is what Dave Ramsey says from his website about reverse mortgages. If you or anyone you know is considering a reverse mortgage, stop now. If money is short, cut back on your lifestyle. Sell your house and get something more affordable to free up money for your needs. Now again, Dave is a little bit stricter than some of us may be, but you got to admit, the man knows what he's talking about. All right, now I'm going to skip the next one because I want to take a little bit more time for this one before we take a break. Well, wait a minute, let's go ahead and do this. Let's take a break. And then I want to talk about timeshares, okay? This is one of my biggest peeves right here. But street talk and other stuff. Mike Mad Dog Magnati. We're talking about financial responsibility. We're talking about things that you may want to avoid as far as financial traps are concerned, with the goal in mind that money stays a tool and not something to which you become enslaved. Street talk and other stuff. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Back the clocks and grab the ice melt. Winter weather is here. This is Corey at Rose Tractor. If you're looking for a reliable way to clear snow, look no further than Cub Cadet. For sidewalks and driveways, a Cub Cadet snow thrower will get the job done in a jiffy. For larger jobs, a Cub Cadet Challenger utility vehicle with a snow blade will handle about anything. You can depend on Cub Cadet for years of reliable performance, and we'll help you select the best model for your job at Rose Tractor, family-run business at the corner of 3rd and Rock Island Road in East Wenatchee.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, we provide financial services for independent-minded clients working to secure their future. Whether it's helping to construct your personal financial, retirement, or estate plan, we start with a disciplined approach and straightforward advice. Our look you in the eye attentiveness that our clients demand and get is rooted in values that are as human as a handshake. D.A. Davidson's straightforward approach is the way we've done it for 80 years.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Hi, I'm Blair from Works, your workout prescription. Have you ever started an exercise program and then struggled to keep it going? So what if I told you that with this MyZone device, I could increase your chances of self-motivated exercise adherence by over 200%. Combine that with an exercise prescription specifically for your level of readiness, we'll increase it even more. And that's our new member success system. It's $99. It's exclusively at Works. It includes your MyZone belt. Works. YourWorkoutRx.com.
All right, Street Talk and other stuff. Mike, Mad Dog, Magnati. We're talking about financial responsibility today, some things to be careful of because we want money to become a tool, not something to become oh boy, not something to which you become enslaved yourself. How was that, okay? You don't want to get behind the 8 ball on this one, but there's 2 things I definitely want to go over, and this one's the longest. Timeshares. All right, now look, if you own a timeshare and you're happy with it, salud. Okay, I'm happy for you. Great. For some people, they haven't been a bad deal. Okay, but you're on vacation in Mexico or Hawaii or something like that. You want a little peace and quiet. You want a little rest and relaxation. In some areas, though, you're kind of harassed by people who just say, look, you can have a free meal or you can have this. If you just come to a 90-minute presentation where there's not going to be a sales pitch, you're just going to be shown a beautiful property. Oh, it's great, you'll love it. And then you get this great meal afterwards at this fancy restaurant, actually, or you get to rent a Jeep, whatever. It's some kind of promotion. If you just go to this 90-minute thing, this is not a sales presentation, okay. Yeah, it's a timeshare, okay? And the reason there are so many people pushing these things right now is because they make the people who sell them so much money. And guess where that money comes from? It's like a casino. Casinos aren't open because people win. People are there because they lose, okay? And people are selling timeshares because they're making tons of money for the people who are selling them. Now, are they a good deal for you or not? I don't know, but okay, a timeshare. It's sometimes called a vacation ownership. It's a property with what they call a divided form of ownership or use rights. That's the thing. Now, they say you own this, but it could just be a matter of shared use rights. These properties are typically resort locations, condominium units, in which multiple parties have the right to use the property, and each owner of the same accommodation is allotted a period of time, usually a week, or some of them it's points. Okay, you have certain points. You can go to the timeshare that you originally bought and own in Hawaii, or you can use the points that this ownership of this timeshare gives you to go down to the Cayman Islands or something like that. And one of the primary selling points on these things is that you can own your vacation. Well, what I told a timeshare guy once when he said that to me, he said, look, I already own my vacation. I can go where I want, okay? I can spend what I want. I don't have to come down and stay locked into whatever plan you're setting up for me for an exorbitant fee. They didn't like that too much. I was actually with another couple, and they sent somebody over to take me away because the other couple was a little more interested in the plan than I was. But a lot of critics nowadays contend that timeshares are just way overpriced. Now, maybe they weren't in the beginning, but that's how they're getting. The United States Federal Trade Commission provides consumers with information regarding timeshare pricing and other related information. These deals are also known as universal lease programs. And timeshares are considered to be securities under the law. So there are laws and regulations that if you're considering a timeshare, you should look into before you buy. Now, timeshare developers, in all fairness, contend that pricing at staying at hotels in long term is projected to be lower than a timeshare owner. Well, that's debatable, not necessarily the truth. But this is the thing about owning your vacation. Now, I don't own a timeshare, and if I want to go down to Mexico, I may pay a little more. Okay, just theoretically, I may pay a little more for a hotel room. But for the months I'm not there, I'm not paying a monthly service, maintenance, and upkeep fee that timeshares require. There was recently a couple I work with. It wasn't so much about the timeshare thing, but they spent $15,000 for a timeshare, and then they were required to pay over $500 a month in maintenance fees. Now, you tell me, come on, okay? It's not going to be more money to go to a hotel for something like that. I mean, that's crazy. And these fees go up. Annual bills escalate. They admit this. And the harsh economic situations, and more importantly, the growth of alternative home exchange programs like Airbnb are causing many timeshare owners to maybe rethink their purchase, and those considering timeshares to say, maybe this really isn't the way I want to go. Now, one study some time ago revealed that 56% of reclaimed timeshares, properties that revert to the developer, stem from foreclosure. People just can't continue to pay the fees or just refuse to. A matter of fact, timeshares sometimes can be donated to charities. I mean, this is one of the ways it's recommended that you get out of them because so many people are looking to get out of their timeshare deal. But if you donate it to a charity, you're going to have to pay an upfront fee to cover whatever costs, and then the charity just stops paying any of the monthly fees, okay? Hoping that in the time between they get the timeshare donated to them and they're finally foreclosed, that they're able to sell it and apply that money to the charity. Some charities won't take timeshares because of the things I've just explained. However, the biggest complaint of all about timeshares is that reselling them is almost impossible to do. Now, you'll be told this at the timeshare sales pitch, which really isn't a sales pitch, that you can resell it if you change your mind. Well, many people are trying to do that. There are companies, many companies now, look them up if you don't believe me, that are advertising services to get you out of your timeshare. If these companies weren't doing business, or they wouldn't be doing business if it was as easy to resell a timeshare as you're told. Okay, now let's go to Dave Ramsey. This is what he says. This is off his website about timeshares. Think about this for a minute. Why in the world would you pay thousands and thousands of your hard-earned dollars for a place with minimal square footage that you might get the chance to visit for 1 week a year? Add that to the fact that you have absolutely no equity in the place. Timeshares are not an investment. They're like a car. The minute you own them and drive them off the lot, they have decreased in value. Dave Ramsey goes on, and you have to pay extra ongoing maintenance fees, and selling it is near impossible. It's basically just an expensive ongoing headache. So again, Dave Ramsey says, no, this isn't where you want to go. All right. Okay, now I'm not going to go over the rest of this about timeshares because I want to get into one last thing before we take a break. Payday loans. You see these places. You go in. This is how they work. You say, hey, I need a short-term loan up to usually $350, $500. You write them a check. You have to show proof of work. You have to show a pay stub. You have to show, I believe, proof of residence, that type of thing. And you write them a check for the $350 you're borrowing plus whatever the fees are, payable on the day you get paid. All right? That's how they work. Okay, so a 14-day, $500 loan with the maximum fee permitted under the statute in Washington, and this is the thing, the annual percentage rate. Now, annual percentage rate on my mortgage loan before, I think was about 6.5%. As I said earlier, on credit cards, annual percentage rates are like 15 to 25% on average. The annual percentage rate for a payday loan in Washington State allowable is 391.07%. Okay, does that sound like a good use of your money? You're going in and you're borrowing $350 and you're having to pay $30 or $50 on top of that plus other fees to get it back. Now, I don't mean to be cruel. I know some people are stuck and in a bad situation, but what Dave Ramsey says is, okay, cut back, all right? Don't be buying the stuff that you're buying. Take a second job. If you go into a payday loan store and get their loans, you're paying much more than you're getting back in return, and this is not a trap you want to get into, ladies and gentlemen. So, okay, I wish I had more time to be able to go into this, but we're about going to wrap it up here. But hey, like I said, a fulfilled life means that you're free of slavery. And one of the main ways we get into slavery in this day and age is through debt. Take a hard look at it, folks, okay? Is money your tool or is money your master? All right, something to think about. When New Year's comes up and you're thinking about resolutions, consider it. Is money your tool or is money your master? Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, you stick around. We'll be right back.
Plumbing, heating, or cooling repair, Patriot will be right there.
Time to replace your home comfort system? This Lennox dealer can help.
If it's time to replace your old furnace or air conditioner, Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling gives free estimates. Call Patriot today.
Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling will give your home a hug.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere. So when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian Services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from LocalTel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CBCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CBCH respects that.
Just as we went on the air, Steve, NCW Life is live now on Facebook.
Hey, how's about that? We're live, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm Dan Kuntz, your host for the next hour.
Every weekday, starting at 7 o'clock.
Get ready for a bunch of news that's coming your way.
Here's what's happening around North Central Washington. We'll have a rundown of all your local, regional, and statewide news. You can also find more on our website at ncwlife.com. Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. That's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on NCW Life News.
Street Talk and other stuff. Mike Mad Dog Magnotti. Now, you know, I hope in the following or the previous part of this I didn't come across too judgmental. I know my wife is going to see that and say, why do you lecture people? I say, because I care about them. All right, so let's move on. Yeah, I got a letter here. Okay, it's time for your probably worthless opinion. And this one came in from a listener, so let's go ahead and read this. It says, Dear Mad Dog, I recently read in the newspaper that the Wenatchee Police Department made so far over $300,000 from the red light cameras. Hey, all right. This is Big Brother government at its worst, and I've heard you defend these evil cameras. Well, yeah, I do. How can you possibly support such a pure money-making scheme as these cameras are? The police department's claim that they promote driving safety is hogwash. They just want the dough. So, well, yeah, I think that's true. I think we, as citizens of a free society, should storm the streets and dismantle the cameras and challenge the cops to do something about it. Yeah, can you just see that? This guy running out in the street yelling, to the barricades, and trying to climb the poles to pull these cameras down. Yeah, all right. And you lily-livered coward, he's talking to me now, should have the moral courage to admit that the cameras are evil and that the city should pay back every penny they've collected from these harbingers of our pending loss of personal freedom. So stick that in your stupid Mad Dog coffee cup and drink it. Signed, Mad as Hell. P.S. Merry Christmas. All right, you know what? I love the cameras, and I had a part in where they're placed, particularly the one which is at where my wife called the intersection of death, which is 5th and Chelan. If you don't want a ticket for running a red light camera, don't run the red light. Okay, Street Talk and other stuff. That's it for this week, but hey, you need to turn in next week because next week my guest will be the man himself, and what I'm saying is he's coming to town. See you then. Bye-bye.